Hey everybody, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the way the assignment's going to work today, because as you can see there's a lot of things. So as I put up yesterday, there were the 3.1 biblical readings, and then 3.2, how do we interpret problematic texts regarding violence. And many of you have already done that, and that was definitely an option for Monday. And then today, the thing that you're required to do is you're going to be listening to one podcast from 3.3. And there are 4 options. And I want to talk a little bit about each of them real quickly before you choose. And then I'll explain what else is possible. So, first of all, there's one podcast that's split into 2. There's Violence in the Book of Revelation with Tim Mackey, who's the founder of the Bible Project. And in this one, it's looking at the Book of Revelation, which has a lot of violent imagery, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and things like that. And if you're interested in studying Revelation and violence and morality, this could be an option for you. Another one to look at is violence in the Old Testament, and particularly if you were intrigued by the discussion board on how to deal with problematic texts in the Old Testament or in the Bible, this one might be one for you, and it can be really valuable. The third one is Difficult Questions with Dr. Gary Breshears. And in this one, John Mark Comer, Bethany Allen, and Gary Breshears, they talk about, so if we accept that Jesus is teaching enemy love and nonviolence, then how do we answer the toughest questions? And I will be honest, the questions are tough. And in some ways, they only get tougher as you listen. I just listened to it again today. I've listened to it several times. It is kind of troubling. And there's some of these questions where you're like, oh, like how do you actually love your enemy in this situation? And so if you're looking for something that's really serious and difficult, do this one. And kind of in another way, even though it deals with similar issues. The last one is Practice of Nonviolence in Africa, specifically Uganda, with Sister Rosemary Nairumbe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but this one, I've listened to it many times now, and she is dealing with a lot of similar issues, and not only dealing with it from a theoretical level, she's dealing with it all the time. And by it I mean issues of violence and how to approach child soldiers and women who are brought up in sex slavery. And so it's a lot of similar heavy issues, but I will be honest, she is just such a breath of fresh air. And if I were to recommend one, not to say that you have to do the one that I want, I would do this one. I listened to it today and I was just really moved by it. And so those are the 4 that you can do. And once you finish with your first one, and what you're going to do for each of these is you're going to listen to the podcast, respond to the discussion prompt in a thoughtful way that incorporates some of the material from the podcast, and then you're going to take a multiple choice true false quiz just for comprehension. And you can take it while you're listening. I think that'd be good. It's not, it's designed to see that you're listening and thinking about these things. It's not meant to be like a gotcha quiz. Not that I don't try to design any mine like that, but you're going to do both of those. Do the discussion and take the quiz. This is kind of similar that we've been doing with the presentations. And obviously, if we had a much longer unit, we'd be doing a lot of these together as a class. In fact, there'd be a lot more. And because all of this is so interesting and important, I wanted to have it all available for you. And so if you are looking for a way to go into the end of the school year really well in this class, you could do some extra credit. If you're just interested in this material, you can do some extra credit. And so you could do a second discussion board for some extra credit, and you can even do a third one for a little bit less extra credit. And you can put in a comment which one it is, because it's the third one is worth less. And you may be wondering, what about 3.4? What about sheepdogs? This one is only available for extra credit, and it's looking at a scene from American Sniper, which honestly gives a very concise argument for violence as Christians, and you'll be called to wrestle with that. The reason why this one is just extra credit is not because it's lesser. It's more just that the rest of them you're looking at pretty long arguments of about 20 minutes or more. And in What About Sheepdogs, you're analyzing a very short story that's about a minute long and putting it in conversation with the rest. So I highly encourage that you do it, but that does not count as your main one. And so don't be alarmed that there's all of these assignments up there. You only have to do one podcast, and that'll be from 3.3. And then if you finish, you could do up to two others if you want. I hope you're having a great Tuesday/Wednesday for my fifth period, and hope you have a great day.